If a girl asks you for a ride on a deserted road at 2 a.m., never stop, because she might not be human. My name is Jack. This happened in October the 2025. I was driving home on a lonely highway in Oregon, USA. It was around 2:07 a.m. The rain had just stopped. The highway was completely empty. Then, my headlights caught the figure of a young woman standing on the side of the road. She was wearing a long white dress. Her black hair covered most of her face. Slowly, she raised her hand, asking for a ride. At first, I kept driving, but when I looked into my rearview mirror, she was still standing there, in the exact same spot, as if time had frozen around her. For some reason, I hit the brakes. She slowly walked toward my car, opened the rear door, and sat down in the back seat without saying a word. I asked, "What's your name?" No answer, only a faint smile. A few minutes later, she finally spoke. "Just drop me off at the forest up ahead." Her voice was so cold. My hands began to shake on the steering wheel. Then, my car radio suddenly turned on by itself. A broken, crackling voice whispered, "Don't let her sit behind you." I quickly switched the radio off. Then I looked into the back seat. It was empty. My heart started pounding. Suddenly, a whisper came from right beside my ear. "I'm here." Slowly, I turned my head. She was now sitting in the passenger seat next to me. I had never seen her move. She looked straight at me. For the first time, I saw her eyes. They were completely black. No whites, no pupils, just endless darkness. A few seconds later, I noticed an old wrecked car on the side of the road. I slammed on the brakes. Yellow police tape fluttered in the wind. Beside it stood a rusted sign that read, "Fatal Accident, 1998. The girl smiled, then quietly said, "This is where I died." A chill ran through my entire body. Then, very slowly, she twisted her head a full 180 degrees. She looked at me, smiled, and whispered, "Now, it's your turn." I slammed my foot down on the accelerator, but the speedometer climbed to 90 miles per hour, yet the car wasn't moving forward. It felt like something was pulling it backward. I looked at the passenger seat. It was empty. But then, I glanced into the rearview mirror. She was sitting there again. This time, she was holding an old, worn-out doll in her lap. She slowly began to laugh. Suddenly, my phone started ringing. The screen read, "Unknown caller." I answered. An old man's trembling voice came through the speaker. "If that girl is in your car, get off that road before sunrise, or you'll disappear, just like she did." The call ended. A moment later, my car rolled to a stop by itself. Right where the old crash had happened, the girl stepped out of the car and silently walked toward the dark forest. For some reason, I followed her. A few minutes later, I found an old grave. The weathered headstone read, "Emily Carter, 1979 to 1998. Suddenly, someone grabbed my shoulder from behind. I spun around. An old man was standing there. He looked at me and said, "25 years ago, I gave that same girl a ride. I survived. My friend never did." Before I could say another word, the old man vanished into thin air. I turned back toward the grave. The girl was standing on top of it. She smiled one last time and whispered, "You escaped today, but I'll see you again." In the next second, everything disappeared. The forest, the grave, the girl. Everything. When I opened my eyes, it was morning. I was sitting alone inside my car. I told myself it had all been a nightmare, but then I looked at the back seat. There was a wet white ribbon lying there. Beside it was a small handwritten note. It said only 4 words. Thanks for the ride.